Well, good evening, YouTube. This is your Daily Stoic with your host, Jeffrey. Imagine a life worth living, then go live it, McCabe. This is your Daily Stoic, March 6, 2025. It is getting late. I've had a full day. I'm a little tired, so bear with me. I hope you're having a great week so far, and I hope you're aiming. I want to explain the title a little bit. Imagine a life worth living, then go live it. For me personally, for a long time, I've always been a positive person, but I've been unable to focus myself and really actually chase success. There's been a whole part of my journey. Stoicism is only like one of the wrenches in my toolbox, let's say, of self-improvement, self-help, and all of these things that I've tried to incorporate into my life. The biggest one right now, I would say, is physical health. I've been hitting the gym more consistently than maybe I ever have. I'm feeling better physically than I have in a while. And I always suspected that if I could really lock in at the gym, really get in good shape, that success would follow. And what I'm realizing now, it's not just that like magically success will happen. It is the routine. It is feeling better. Your body's working better. It is the focus that comes with physical exercise and getting in better shape. The confidence, obviously. You can pretend not to be vain, but you do. If you feel good, you look good. If you look good, you feel good. It's like it's all mixed in together. And so I'm just really realizing, like I always knew, I was like, if I get in really good shape, and now I'm really starting to see the pieces fit. I'm doing better at work. I'm doing better mentally. I'm doing, it helps so much. So right now, physical exercise, along with reading, writing, and stoicism, of course. As always, reading the Daily Stoic 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hasselman. I promise you, if you go do some research, if you don't know what it is, get out of here, go Google it. I promise you it can help if it's something that you can sink your teeth into, let's say. It's helped me tremendously. I know it's helped, billions of people. I don't know if that's an over-exaggeration, but I don't. Billion is a lot, right? The difference between a million and a billion is a lot. And to even conceptualize thinking about what a billion would look like, billion people, billion marbles, it's hard. Your brain don't really work in those numbers. Anyways, today is March 6th. I'm gonna make this quick. I went to work, been up since 4, went to work, went home, moved a chair, went to the gym, went and got something to eat. Now I gotta do a little bit of shopping, get home, make my lunch, do it over. I got 3 more shifts. So we're gonna try and make this under, I won't say 5 minutes, but we're gonna try and make it under 10. All right, so I hope you're rocking with me. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Tell your friends. We're going to try to grow the channel. I think over a year we will see some growth, and I think it will be a great complement to all the other creative aspirations that I have. That now that I'm trying to be successful, now that I'm aiming a little bit better at my goals, I think I can hit them. I'm rambling. March 6th. Don't tell yourself stories. Never mind. I know a guy who loves to tell stories. Anyways, in public, avoid talking often and excessively about your accomplishments and dangers. Accomplishments and dangers. For however much you enjoy recounting your dangers, it's not so pleasant for others to hear about your affairs. Epictetus, Echelon 33.14. Ooh, let's read through it, and then it's got me thinking already. Modern philosopher Nassim Taleb has warned of the narrative fallacy, the tendency to assemble unrelated events of the past into stories. These stories, however gratifying to create, are inherently misleading. They lead to a scene of cohesion and certainty that isn't real. If that's too heady, remember that Epictetus points out, there is another reason not to tell stories about your past. It's boring, annoying, and self-absorbed. It might make you feel good to dominate the conversation and make it all about you. But how do you think it is for everyone else? Do you think people are really enjoying the highlights of your high school football days? Oh man, this one hurts my feelings. Is this really the time for another exaggerated tale of your sexual prowess? Try your best not to create this fantasy bubble. Live in what's real. Listen and connect with people. Don't perform for them. Whew. I got stories for days. That won't hurt my feelings. I feel attacked. Yeah, maybe I should listen to that. You ever get to tell them war stories, party stories, girl stories, sports stories? I've done that a lot. I always feel like it's wow, that's a tough one. Should I never ever tell my stories? I think they're funny. Interesting. What stories do you tell in your life that maybe aren't even needed? And it's always a one-up. Oh, you remember the time I kicked the can? You remember the time I picked up a girl at the bar and then the other guy's like, yeah, I remember this time I did. It's just war stories, and we're just one-upping each other in a sense. This one really made me think. I'll tell a lot of stories. I mean, sometimes they're funny. I got a couple, homies that I guess if you feel comfortable with, but in a mass crowd or people you don't really know, maybe it would be best to shut my mouth. I'm going to talk for myself here. This one kicked my ass. I don't remember reading this one ever before. I don't know if I skipped over it in the past or what, or if I just never took it in the way I did just now. Don't tell your stories. Don't tell yourself stories. I did hear an interesting thing, somewhat related. My good friend Angela one time was talking about relationships and getting sober and trauma and blah, blah, blah. I don't say blah, blah, but we were discussing life in that way, and I was discussing something I'd been going through. And I guess to rewind, it was like it's a recommended thing if you get sober, if you go to therapy or rehab, that they say you should probably wait a full year before getting into any romantic relationship if you're not in one currently when you go to rehab. If you are in one, then there's a whole other path you got to take for, making amends with your partner, yada, yada. So anyways, it was kind of in that vein. And I said, well, me and this girl, we connected, we told each other all this stuff. And she goes, you know what, man? She goes, you'll know you're healed when you don't tell people your trauma right away. You'll know you're healed when you don't have to tell them your BS junk right away. It's like certain things you might want to tell somebody once you get to know them a little bit better, but when you meet somebody and you're just telling them right away, it means you're not healed. It means it's still on the surface and that you need more time. And that, I was like, true that. And that's kind of how it's been for me, relationship-wise. I've been a long-term relationship jumper. And I really think back on that kind of advice, and it's like, yeah, you meet a new girl, you're like, well, this girl did me this so wrong. And then you meet the next girl, and whatever, right? So it's easy to see where, you got to heal first. And it took me a long time to learn that, I'm not too proud or too full of myself to not say, like, man, I've made some mistakes. I've jumped around a lot. Not jumped around a lot. I jump around. But always long-term relationship after a relationship, but it's always the stories you tell about the past that, and that's how it connects there. So when you don't have to tell somebody trauma right away, that's when you know you're healing or closer to healed. That is it for your Daily Stoic. I do have to get in and do some grocery shopping at the Great Walmart. And don't let the news get you down, man. Keep living your life. Do your best you can. I love you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace!